Today I called out your name, not in whispers, not hidden in soft words or wrapped in poetry. I cried it out with the full weight of my love. I spoke it into the silence of your room, into that corner where you think nobody sees you, where you try to look fine while inside you are breaking apart. I called your name while your soul was shattering quietly, while you forced a smile so others would not worry, while inside you were only holding back tears. I am the one who shaped you before you were born, the one who knows every piece of your heart. I could not watch you carry the burden alone, believing you are abandoned. You thought my silence was distance, but it was not. It was me waiting for the right time to speak clearly, face to face, spirit to spirit. Do you know why I cried out today? Because your hidden pain became an echo in heaven, because your tears, even the ones you refused to admit, reached me. I called out because my love for you does not end with your doubts, does not shrink with your weakness, does not leave you even when you ignore me. I cried out because you are drowning in struggles that others cannot see, because you tried to be strong for everyone and forgot you also need to be held. I cried out because I saw you hide in that room and whisper into your pillow, too tired even to pray. I cried out because while the world sees you holding everything together, I see how you shake inside, and it broke my heart. I am not far away, I am not cold or careless. I was there when the hard news came. I was there when you did not know how to keep going. I was there when you thought nothing you did mattered, and when you felt there was nothing worth fighting for. I did not only stand by, I wept with you. Not because I am weak, but because my love for you is burning and alive. And while you thought your story was closing, I was writing a new chapter with my own hand. You asked why not sooner? Why not when I needed it most? I was whispering all along through people, through songs, through small moments of light, but today I could not whisper. Today I needed to shout. I shouted in your storm. I shouted because it is urgent, because you are at the edge, because lies have told you there is no way forward. Those are lies, not truth. While despair tried to write your ending, I was preparing your new beginning. But I will not move without your answer. This is not a random moment, not an empty message. This is heaven breaking into your life. This is my voice reaching into your soul. This is my hand stretched out to you. I speak to you now with great urgency because you are nearer to your breakthrough than you realize, yet also closer to giving up than you want to admit. I will not force you to hear me, but I must tell you this moment will not come again in the same way. Stay right here. Take in every word. Do not leave this for later. Do not close this as you have closed so many other messages before. This may be the final time I speak to you with such fire, such intensity. Not because I tire of you, but because you stand at the edge of surrender. If you give up before letting me step in, the pain will cut deeper. But there is still hope. There is still a way. I am still standing at the door, waiting for you to open. Do not keep delaying. Do not turn away once more. If you refuse me now, you may walk in circles without purpose for far too long. And if this word stirs your heart, do not hide it. Answer not only with feelings but with faith. Speak back, pray, return to me. I remain here with arms wide open, with a voice hoarse from calling your name, with eyes wet with tears of love. Yes, because Jesus wept while calling out to you today. Hear me well, I am not far away, I am not seated on a cold throne beyond your reach. I am right beside you, whispering to your heart, reaching the place no one else can. I am the God who sees every detail, the God who hears even the faintest sigh, the God who remembers all. Today I rise for you with urgency because I have seen you. I saw you in every moment you thought no one was watching. I noticed when you held back words to avoid breaking in front of others, when you hid your tears so your children would not see how weary you were. I watched you when you pushed yourself just to make it through one more day, not even knowing how much more you could bear. And though you believed I was absent, your soul's cry reached the heavens like thunder. Trust me now, for the story I began in you will end in beauty. Do not think I have forgotten your prayers. Do not imagine for a moment that your cries were empty. I did not turn away. I did not choose others and leave you behind. I do not have favorites, but my love for you is deeper than you can measure or count. Every word, every sigh you lifted was kept safe in heaven. Even the prayers made in silence, in the middle of chores, while folding clothes, washing dishes, or caring for someone ill. Even those whispered only in tears or quiet breaths, I heard them all. Not one prayer was lost, not a single one went unheard. You became used to my quiet, believing it meant I was absent, but it was never absence, it was building. I was working in the unseen places of your life, where your eyes could not reach. I was shifting pieces, setting the right moments, guarding your way, shutting doors that would have harmed you, and opening others you'd never even imagine. What I am shaping is greater than what you expected, deeper than what you hoped for, and more complete than what you thought you deserved. That is why it requires time, because I do not give broken pieces or partial gifts. I bring what is whole, restored, steady, guarded, complete. I give answers that turn into stories of hope, not circles of repeated pain. You believed your effort was invisible, that your strength was wasted, that no one saw you standing firm while others around you were crumbling. But I saw it all. I saw when you closed your door and whispered only, "Help me." I saw when you swallowed your tears to keep others steady. I saw when you loved without being loved back, when you stayed even while feeling left behind. I saw when you forgave without hearing the words "I'm sorry." That is why today I cried out your name, because the season of silence has ended. It is the season of action, of lifting you up, of stepping in. You have felt weak, too sensitive, too tired, and you judged yourself harshly for it. You told yourself, "I should have been stronger. I should not have failed. I should have done more." But now I tell you, as the one who formed you before time, you did not fail. You were stronger than you know, carrying more than you thought you could, enduring storms beyond human strength. If you could see how many people collapse under only half of what you have carried, you would understand why I come close today with strength in my voice and tenderness in my heart to tell you, stop blaming yourself. The moment has arrived for me to move, for me to step in, for me to close the chapter of pain and bring a new season over you. But I ask one thing from you. Listen to the end. Do not push these words aside. Every sentence I place in your heart is a keys that unlock old doors, that heal buried wounds, that release hurts you thought would never be healed. These are keys that break heavy chains, that pull down lies of fear, rejection, and not being enough. These are keys that open a way to the healing you have been longing for, the deep freedom you thought was never possible. That heavy fear in your chest, that worry of losing everything again, that constant dread of things falling apart, I will tear it out today. I am not giving you just a fleeting feeling. I am speaking of true change, reaching from the soul to every part of life. I am reaching into the core of who you are to show you that you are not unseen, not abandoned, not outside my purpose. I am here, Jesus, speaking to you with tears in my eyes, because I wept as I called your name today. I wept because my love for you is endless. I wept because you are at the edge, and I cannot let you fall now when you are so near to promise fulfilled. Stay with me. Keep listening. Take these words in and do not harden your heart, because what is coming is not only speech, it is encounter. And if you dare to believe, if you simply open your heart, you will feel my presence in a way you never have before. I am here. You cannot imagine how deeply it hurt me to see you believe I was far when I was so near, You have walked with a bowed back, carrying loads I never meant for you to carry alone. You have faced days when it felt like everything broke at once: relationships, health, stability, spirit, faith, like a storm that swallowed you without giving space to breathe. And yet, you kept moving forward, even when strength was gone, even when comfort never arrived, even when no one stopped to ask if you were all right, even when what once gave you support no longer seemed to hold. Still, you did not let go of everything, not because you felt strong, but often because you simply did not know what else to do. From the very start, I was there. When cracks began to appear, I was already setting in place what you would one day need. You were never drifting. You were never at the mercy of chance or chaos. While you struggled to stand, I was securing the ground beneath your feet so you would not fall into emptiness. Those moments when you felt ready to break completely, it was never your strength alone that kept you. It was me. It was my unseen hand, my quiet breath, my covering shield in battles no one else could see. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to carry more weight. It broke my heart to watch you demand more of yourself in times when what you truly needed was rest, comfort, and healing. It hurt to see you press down your own feelings, race your needs so that others could thrive, silence your own voice just to avoid stirring pain. The world never saw that. Many thought you were just distant or cold, but it was not distance, it was exhaustion. It was your soul calling out for rest. It was your spirit whispering in the dark, "Where are you? I don't know how much longer I can bear this." And I never abandoned you. I never stayed quiet because I did not care, but because there are blessings that need time before they can be given. Promises that cannot grow under strain, but only in peace. Answers that cannot be rushed, but must come when they can be carried without breaking you. What I was forming for you could not be shallow or temporary. It had to be lasting and deep. Quick solutions fall apart with the first storm. What is built in a hurry does not stand through fire. But what is shaped in secret, in silence, in the hidden places, that endures. Do you see how many times you gave everything without being seen? How often you loved, served, poured out your heart, your strength, your care, and were met with nothing but silence. You know the pain of planting in dry ground yet still believing that life would one day grow there. I do not need to remind you of the tears you dried in secret, the moments when you almost broke but told no one. Nor do I need you to explain why you began to close doors in your heart, why you pulled back from letting yourself feel. You started building walls around your emotions because you feared one more wound would be too much. Yet those same walls that kept out pain also shut out comfort. Without meaning to, you let fear lead you, fear of trusting again, fear of holding on to joy only for it to slip away, fear of opening your arms just to be left empty. That tightness in your chest, that constant worry, is not who you truly are. It is the weight of what you never released. That is why I speak now with such urgency, because what I want to do in you is not surface level. It is real and lasting. I need you to let me into the place no one else can reach. I know the battles you have faced, the rejection you never voiced but still carried, the kind that made you feel unseen. That betrayal that still lingers in your thoughts, even though you tell yourself it is over. Those voices that shape how you see yourself more than you wish they had. I know the very moment you started believing you were not enough. And I know how what you face now feels like the same old story, like no matter how much effort you put in, you always find yourself in that same place of weariness, disappointment, loneliness, and emptiness. But this is not a cycle repeating itself. This is the turning point. This is the place where the story shifts. Not because you handled everything perfectly, but because you are letting me in, even if only a little, so I can truly move. Today I come not to accuse you, but to embrace you with eyes of love, with a heart full of tenderness for you. I do not arrive to highlight where you failed. I come to remind you that you were never made to live only surviving. You were not made to get used to constant pain. You were not made to move forward always afraid of losing it all. You were formed with meaning, with care, with promise. And if up to now it has felt like a long endless wait, it is only because what I am bringing will be greater than you ever imagined. I am not offering you just enough to get by, but a life of fullness. All the pieces you did not understand, all the paths that did not unfold as you hoped, all the questions left unanswered will be used for good. I do not waste pain. I do not lose what you go through. I do not forget your prayers. Even the quietest sigh was heard. Even the thought you never spoke was written down. I do not leave you halfway through the process. I am opening doors no one else could open. I am healing wounds no one else could reach. It is time to let go of what is beyond you and allow me to take over fully. You do not need to keep pushing yourself until you break. Just breathe. Trust that I am here. There are things that made no sense then, and others you cannot explain even now. Situations tied up like knots too hard to undo, seasons where the ground gave way under your feet, and you wondered again and again if you would ever feel safe once more. They were not only hard days. They were seasons when confusion pressed on you so heavily that even what once gave you strength no longer seemed to hold. You wondered what happened to the promises, why painful cycles seemed to return again and again, why the answer you had prayed for with tears did not come. These questions lived in your mind while you kept doing what you could, even though inside something was slowly wearing away. I know this. Not because anyone told me, but because I was there. I was not just watching. I was feeling with you, carrying what others could not see. I have been close since the first day, even when you felt everything inside you had gone dry. There were nights when you lay down with emptiness that even sleep could not lift. There were mornings when rising from bed felt heavy, not from lack of gratitude, but from lack of strength. You did not want to quit, yet you did not know how to keep going either. Between hard choices, repeated disappointments, and hopes that never seemed to unfold, you began to wonder if you still had direction, if there was still a plan, or if you were only moving by habit. But none of it was wasted. No season, however dark, was empty time. I was working more deeply than you can see. Some processes do not show results right away because they are being built at a hidden level, in places no eye can reach. When nothing blooms on the surface, it does not mean growth is absent. In the middle of your breaking, the root of your spiritual, emotional, and even physical life was being strengthened. You did not see it, but stability was being formed where there was weakness. Clarity was being created where once there was innocence. And what seemed like failure was truly silent preparation to hold what is now starting to rise. Those doors that never opened were not punishment, they were protection. Some connections ended without you knowing the reason, but they were part of the clearing needed for the new things that are about to arrive. Certain chances looked good on the surface, but if you had taken them, they would have slowed your growth. I stopped you from walking down some roads, not because you did not deserve them, but because you are worthy of something greater than what you would have settled for in your weariness. What you cannot yet see, you will one day understand as mercy, because everything I do, even what I allow, fits into an eternal plan, not a passing one. Your perseverance was never overlooked. I know there were times you felt lost, as if you were moving without a map, when in truth you were being led quietly, not by clear signs outside, but by a quiet direction I placed inside you. Even while doubting, you kept moving. Through your tears and fears, you did not give up. That kind of strength carries a weight far beyond what people can measure. It sets things in motion in the unseen world that you cannot yet notice. What you thought was stopping was really a repositioning, and now the shift begins. Not a noisy one, not one that seeks to impress, but a change that starts deep inside. First will come the clear mind you have been longing for. Thoughts will begin to align. What once felt like endless confusion will start to make sense. The broken pieces of your heart will find their place again, and with that order will come peace. Not a peace that shakes with outside events, but a lasting peace born from knowing you are not being tossed by chance, but led with purpose. The renewal I am bringing is not shallow, not limited to what others can see. It is a true awakening. You will remember the identity you had forgotten. You will see your own reflection with fresh eyes. You will recover the authority you gave away in the middle of pain. Not because you earn it through effort, but because it belongs to you by design. You have not yet seen the full picture of what I placed inside you. You have not yet walked in the complete measure of what you carried quietly for so long. It is coming without you having to force doors open, without you having to control every step. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time, in the very moment when my voice turns into action. The season of silence has ended. Now is the season of fulfillment. You will not return to the old starting line. You will not repeat the same circles. Everything you faced has been preparing the soil for what is new. What is coming is not just a repair of what once was. It is a new beginning built not on past scars, but on eternal promises. Restoration will not be a patch on old walls. It will be a rebuilding with stronger foundations, with clearer vision, with greater strength. Have you asked yourself why certain things stopped right when they seemed so close? Why doors that looked ready to open suddenly shut? It was never punishment, and it was never neglect. It was my loving restraint. I closed them because they would have given you less than you were meant to hold. I closed them because they would have hurried a process that was not ready. I closed them because even if they looked good, they would have pulled you away from the purpose set for you before you were even born. I have been keeping you safe even when you thought I was denying you something. I never took what you love to harm you. I removed what would have blocked you from receiving what you truly need. The waiting was not wasted. It was the hidden ground where something greater was being built inside you, something even you do not yet fully see. A strength that cannot be measured by surface signs, a depth that cannot be judged by titles or outward success, but by the maturity shaped in secret. You think I did not notice. Every time you chose to do what was right when no one was watching, I saw it. Every thought you surrendered to me in the middle of your hidden struggles, every quiet step of obedience that seemed unnoticed, I kept it all, not as a formality, but because in my kingdom nothing born from a true heart is ever small. There are times when change grows so silently that even you doubt it is happening, yet what happens inside always comes before what can be seen outside. The soil only produces fruit after it has been broken. The same is true for you. Those cracks within were never defeat. They were signs that new life was about to rise. The breaking was not your end, it was the ground being prepared. Through those fractures, promises began to take root that could not have grown in any other way. I shaped you in the fire, not to destroy you but to cleanse and strengthen what was already precious. I know you have felt like someone who poured out more than you received. You gave understanding when you were barely understood. You held others close while you longed for someone to hold you. You celebrated victories for others while quietly gathering the broken pieces of your own heart. And even though no one said it, many times you were the pillar that kept others from falling without them realizing it. I did not overlook it. I never counted it as small. Every hidden sacrifice of yours was an act of heaven, and heaven never forgets those who love without expecting anything back. Do not look for justice in places that cannot see eternity. Do not seek worth in spaces that never knew how to value you. Those who failed to see your true essence have no power to write your future. My word over you does not change with seasons, and my view of you does not bend to human opinions. I do not change my mind, nor do I take back the gifts I placed inside you. Everything I planted in you is still alive, untouched, waiting for the right time to show. You thought you were carrying little, but in truth, you carry what is eternal. And now is the moment to bring into the light what you once kept hidden. Not from fear, but from honor, you chose to keep the truest part of yourself hidden so it would not be exposed in places that could not value or understand it, and that was wisdom. But now the season of hiding is over, for I am not speaking of fame but of purpose-filled visibility. There will be times when I open doors you never searched for and take you to places you never asked to go, not so you may be admired, but so that what I planted in you may reach those who need it most. For your story will not stay silent. The path you walked will speak to others who stand where you once stood, and then you will see that none of it was wasted. Today I called your name, not in a whisper, not in soft tones, not wrapped in symbols, but with the full strength of my love for you. In the quiet of your home where you believe no one notices, where you act strong though inside you are breaking, I cried out as your soul was shattering into pieces no one could see, while you tried to stay steady, while you smiled so others would not worry, while inside you were nothing but a silent scream.